There's young people that are interested in politics and what's going on in the world.
Everything.
The craziness that is the world in 2020.
I want to talk about things like, our new Republican senator candidate in Colorado, Hickenlooper. I want to talk about deep state. I want to talk about the anti-fascist movement, Antifa. They're craziness.
Absolutely.
Fabric of society and what it used to be, or what I think America used to be. Everything from
A to Z, buddy.
religion to culture, anything. What's going on?
Let's talk.
Maybe we can take ideas from comments. Have shows specifically designed for that. Get in depth, do more than just like not report news, but maybe more of a personal insight on the current headlines that may not be everybody else's insight. Hopefully.
Well, and get a feel for how people are feeling, what they're feeling. Are you happy with the way things are? Are you scared? You've got some powerful politicians or people that are involved in government that are doing some very bad stuff.
Oh my God, anymore. Yes, that is true.
People that are associated with the White House that have paintings in their home of little girls in their panties.
Yes. An ex-campaign manager.
Hillary Clinton's.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
There's a lot to talk about.
Oh, earlier I was telling you about that guy who recently forcibly committed suicide.
Correct.
Off of a bridge.
Off a bridge.
After making a video similar to Anthony Bourdain, stating, hey, I'm not going to commit suicide, but bad shit's coming my way. Oh, there I go. See, walked into that.
That's all right. It's going to happen.
This is why it's a test. So I can get used to this.
Right.
Okay. The bad things are coming my way. Okay. But hey, bad things are coming my way. And it was the whole gist of the video. I haven't watched the entire video yet. I saw a snippet of it. And I kind of recognized the dude. And I want to say like Zach Galifianakis or something, but it wasn't. Okay, I can't remember the dude's name.
There's a known name.
Yeah. Seth Green's real good friend.
Okay.
Now, he specifically mentions that all this happened, well, as far as this is what I'm getting from the wife who told me, when I watched the snippet of this video. Basically, Seth Green had pulled him aside one day, whether he was high or drunk or whatever, and introduced him to this secret society of the deep state,
Interesting.
and where he had informed him, either intentionally or misintentionally, that the word chicken is basically a code word for children.
Right.
Okay? And he refers to all the WikiLeaks entries of Hillary Clinton's emails that refer to chickens. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
How Seth Green's show, oh man, that breaks my heart too, is entitled Robot Chicken. Ooh. Okay. You notice all the innuendos and themes of that show? It's okay. No.
We're getting somewhere.
And I'm pretty sure if Seth Green's into it, then we're looking at Seth MacFarlane too.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Then like who's their inner circle? James Franco. Not Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, he's the good guy. Seth Rogen.
Yep.
Seth Rogen.
Yep.
Didn't he do something questionable along those lines? Didn't he have some kind of questionable thing where he? Oh no, that's what he's doing. That's right. He all of a sudden recently just started standing up and really getting behind and speaking up for Black Lives Matter.
Oh really?
Right.
Good.
Which to me needs discussion on another show or topic, because that is connected to the deep state and these crooked politicians and all the things that are going on around the world, and it's a lot deeper. But
the deep state is deep.
Oh my God, it's so entrenched. It's almost like a freaking cancerous tumor that it's grown into little stems that you can't rip the frick out without a lot of pain.
Right. Suffering, a lot of pain and suffering. I think a lot of people are going to disappear over a lot of this. I'd like to talk about Hillary Clinton a little bit and her email situation. That goes deep.
That's a long conversation too.
Right. This is going to go on many times, many episodes.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to get feedback from the public. Tune in. Let us know what you're thinking. I think this is a platform where you can get it off your chest. We're not going to discriminate against you. we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Definitely.
Let us know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, okay, I can't say I don't judge. I don't, because
Everyone does.
if there's a worldwide pedophile ring, I'm judging.
Right.
Okay? I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's
okay,
fair.
Okay, but other than that, I'm to each his own. Mostly. It's,
Sure.
As long as you're not stomping all over somebody's freedoms and trying to,
Right. Yeah. Respect each other's freedoms. But when you get to the point where you're into pedophilia and little boys and girls, we draw a line.
Yeah, I think most of anyone in a decent society draws a line.
Correct.
Anyone
Any decent person. Which
yeah, and I'm sure there's some pretty dark side individuals that wouldn't go that far too.
True. Very true.
Cool. Yeah, and that's a deep one there, man. Those Clintons could fill a book. Yeah.
We're gonna try and get Hillary on the show.
Oh, then you got old what? Oh my goodness, Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger, he was named in old Epstein's black book that was read on the air.
Oh, was he?
Oh yeah, Mr. Agent Orange himself. How many deaths is that guy responsible for?
Did the gentleman that read that off, did he read every name?
Just about,
Really?
yeah. And you would be surprised, man. And that's why when you look at Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever, and she just got busted, she wants to talk to the FBI, and
I
that's
bet
like
she
the latest
does.
headline. And man, it's going to turn out just like Epstein. There are going to be two guards, fall asleep, cameras will all of a sudden go wonky, missing.
Oops.
None of the other 200 cameras in the place caught anything. Nobody has to sign show an ID or check in when they come into these prison places.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
that.
no.
I mean, it's all free come and go.
Sure.
And there's no cameras in between the entrance and cells, so there's no way we could have caught anybody who got in there to get him in the first place.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
it'll probably happen to her too. I'm sure they're going to put her in a place where there's no cameras,
Right.
all the way down to her cell.
Right.
The one camera in her cell will be faultily wired, and
Or turned off, or right.
and the one guard out there is going to have a NyQuil addiction. It's,
ZQL.
yeah. Oh, coronavirus. We got to talk about that too.
Need to talk about that too.
Because man, this oops spill in a laboratory.
Right. Yeah.
So this is just fishy. It's sketchy AF.
It is. I mean, there's been several sources that have said that the government has come out and said, hey, we've accidentally inflated these numbers, and, we need to talk about the media. How the media takes things and turns it into huge things. Takes a small thing, turns it into something large.
Oh, yes, they do.
And people are scared. And I don't think that people need to be cautious, but don't be scared.
Oh, yeah.
That's my opinion.
It's definitely a changing world. Mr. Bill Gates himself said the world's going to change more in the next 15 years than it has in all of human history combined. And I believe it when we look at things like this mapping of the human brain by the government with their Project Brian, where they want to synthetically create a brain for a computer, by mapping us like a computer in the brain. And Elon Musk and his Neuralink, and optogenetics. I just learned about optogenetics.
Oh, what's that?
Oh my God, that's another rabbit hole and a half. Basically, scientists are now taking laboratory mice. They've announced they want to do human trials with this shit.
Oh.
They're taking laboratory mice and they're sticking them with a needle and implanting them with the virus. And inside this virus, they're encoding genetic material, right? And supposedly, and what they're doing is they put two mice, one they've injected with this virus, and I guess it affects something in their brain and their system. It becomes part of their DNA, I guess. I don't know. But they put them in a cage, they hit the other mice with a laser, and it activates a genetic part of the DNA inside this freaking mouse that they injected into the virus, and it causes them to go rabid, like a zombie, and start just tearing everything around it apart.
Foaming at the mouth.
Oh yeah. They turn the laser off, it's fine.
I'll be darned.
And it's similar to a 5G technology.
No kidding.
Which is, I don't know, kind of scary on its own. It's like,
don't worry about it.
when you start messing in frequencies with brainwaves and things, you're like,
Right.
But,
So watch out for lasers and 5G towers.
yeah, well, some crazy scientists even went out to say that they think that up to 17% of our current DNA is actual viral genetic manipulation, like they're doing with the mice now that they've done it, and that they could technically kind of do that with us and activate things inside us if they learned what these DNA sequences were.
Absolutely.
They could just shine a different type of laser into that certain spot, and you'll act
or
exactly the way it
color
dictates.
laser, whatever. Yeah. And that in itself is scary. I mean, where medicine is going, where it's come from, it is amazing. Leaps and bounds. But it's also very, very scary because you go in for a flu shot and they happen to put a little chip or something in there, and the next thing you know, you're being, watched and controlled by some higher authority.
See, that kind of stuff, because that wasn't even 10 to 15 years ago. I was a kid at Cherry Creek High School here, TJ, one of the two. Thomas Jefferson, Cherry Creek. But him and like 3 other kids in this city, and I think 2 of them went to the same school, got this National Science Award scholarship, for the nation. And this kid, he was an Indian kid, like from India, actual like Indian, ethnicity. And smart kid, man. He actually figured out a way in a high school environment. He's in high school classes. He figured out a way that had the potential to use nanobots to target and attack cancer cells. He literally did this in a freaking high school environment while he was going. I don't know if he used a college laboratory or what he did, but it won him a national award, and I haven't heard much of him since. I'm sure he's working somewhere important now.
McDonald's?
Yeah, probably.
How long ago was this?
10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
I'll be darned.
And if he was working as a high school kid, even in college laboratories with nanotechnology, then it'd be easy to put one in a virus.
Sure, absolutely.
And here's this, because see, there's another coronavirus point. They were talking about the coronavirus, and somebody linked it with the freaking revelations in the end time for us.
Oh,
you know how they talked about the mark of the beast and the chip, and how it would cut off everyone from commerce and all this other shit. This guy out there, and I don't know if he's like a Bible. I'll try to have to find the article to verify his credibility and all that.
Yeah, sure.
The story got me to think, at least. And he said this whole freaking mask thing has been a big MK Ultra-like experiment on us to see how fast they could get us to adapt to it and then turn on everyone else who didn't do it.
I'll be darned.
Right? Because people are scowling at people. If you don't wear a mask, some people scowl at you and, talk shit or whatever. And they're trying to see how they can turn people against it. Because this dude says the next step is the end time. He says they're going to put this vaccine together, and they're going to give it to you. And if you don't get the vaccine, if you can't show proof you haven't got the vaccine, your kids can't go to school. You can't get into any store, just like wearing a mask.
Wow.
You can't get into any store. You can't go into any bank. You can't go into any place unless you can show proof you've had this vaccine. And it's like the mark of the beast. Right? Well, what you want to bet, if that's not all that, what you want to bet, if that's true, and there was any water to that Revelations part of it, I'm not saying there is, not saying there isn't, just think and research. But if it is, then there's a nanobot in that thing, and it'll track your every movement, and just like, everything about you could be stored in that little thing, and they could just scan it from everywhere in the world at will, and you'd never know it was in your bloodstream.
Yeah, not a clue. Not a clue.
Yeah. Got to talk about Bill Gates and his genetic manipulation of, cooperation of genetic manipulation with that Brazilian company.
Brazilian company.
Yeah, he had some ties with some Brazilian company.
Really?
Down there that did, their whole purpose and mission was genetic experimentation on insects.
Because that's important.
And then, he did that video where he's standing there and he releases all those mosquitoes into the cloud. Congratulations, you're all cured of polio, and we can use this to transmit vaccines and all that stuff. Well,
I remember you telling me about the mosquito thing.
It's another, look over here, not over here, because if you can transmit a vaccine, can't you transmit a virus?
Absolutely. Well, I would think so. I mean,
No.
I'm far from being a scientist or a doctor, but...
And lo and behold, a year or two later, you've got Zika. Now, wait a minute. I'm not saying anything one way or another, but...
Oops.
I'm saying it does look a little strange.
Yeah.
Oh,
no. I agree 100%. That is peculiar. Almost just swallowed my gum.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry about that.
So, I'd like to kind of verify some of that, try to look at some of those old videos to verify that information.
We're going to be doing a lot of research on a lot of these topics, and it's...
Yeah, as we go.
It may be slow to kind of come to fruition, but the whole point is to dig deep and hit gold at the bottom. So I think we'll get there. It'll take some time, but it'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, don't trust us exclusively. Research on your own.
Do research.
Do your own research on the things we mentioned. Come to your own conclusions.
And we just hope that FBI doesn't show up at our door.
Oh, hey, welcome.
Yeah, well, I'll make them coffee.
Yeah, no doubt.
If they show up.
I still support law enforcement.
I do too. It's you gotta respect them.
Oh, geez,
But there's a lot of bad going on.
Yeah, we could get some publicity talking about old George Floyd too, and somebody missed the memo along the way. An entire generation, just kind of lost the fact that if you resist the cops, you're gonna get your ass beat. Because I grew up with that knowledge. Everyone I know grew up with that knowledge. So if you don't have that knowledge, I don't even know what to say, because I thought it was pretty common.
And I'm glad you said that, because if you don't have that knowledge, I would hope that you would at least have common sense. But what I've come to realize in my 40 years on Earth is that common sense ain't so common.
That's true. That's true.
It's a very simple equation. Don't break the law. You won't have to talk to the police. Very simple. Should you have to talk to the police, be respectful and don't run from them or fight them or grab their taser and point it at them and shoot it at them, because bad things are going to happen to you. Again, common sense. They have guns. Bullets hurt.
They're trained to deal with dangerous people in dangerous situations, so I don't have to, so he doesn't have to, so you don't have to.
Right.
And unfortunately, a normal civilian interacting with an individual who is trained and only sees dangerous situations day after day after time, there may be a little bit of friction involved there, so you got to have a little bit of patience and take that kind of in consideration.
Right.
It's definitely hard to do, and I know I don't want to do it.
Just don't break the law. Yeah. It's that simple. Be a decent human being. Don't steal people's cars.
Yeah,
Don't break the law.
Don't hang questionable pictures on the wall of your home if you're a campaign manager for a famous individual. I mean,
oh boy!
For the love of
we'll
God.
We'll have to post some of those pictures up, just so the people out there can see what we're referring to.
I bet you old Prince Charles is sitting there in his castle with his tea shaking.
Yeah, like a leaf.
Prince, was it King or Prince of Yugoslavia? He was on that list.
We talked about that. Was it?
I
forget. It was one of the two.
And you know what I'm starting to think? There's a bunch of mystery around. Remember Princess Diana? Mm-hmm. I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, she found something out about old Charles that she didn't like.
And mysteriously somehow crashed into a bridge and died. Yeah. It's going to get deep, folks.
Yeah.
It already is, but
Jimmy Christmas,
there's a lot that we don't know, and we're not privy to that information, but with a little elbow grease and some research, I think that we'll be able to find out quite a bit, and some people may not like what we find out, but the truth.
What about those two guys? There's an old senator, both Republicans, old senator and a really young guy. Doesn't even look like he's old enough to drive. And they have both just done away with Columbus Day. And they want to call it Juneteenth now. We'll get rid of Columbus Day, and now it no longer is, and we'll call it Juneteenth. And it's like, I don't know, on the news they more inferred that these guys were turning to the Democratic side, or maybe in their pocket a little bit.
Yeah. I can see that.
Within their own ranks kind of thing. And whether anybody would notice, well, that's pretty shameful to the both of you. If you ever say that's shameful. You have no right. That is not my representation. I don't know who the hell who you're representing, but it's not the majority.
Correct. Not I.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you can say bye-bye to your jobs.
Yeah, right.
Because I'll be keeping track of you. And, yeah. I don't know what America you're living in, but
right.
it ain't mine.
Don't break the law.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about our perceptions too, how America was when we grew up,
Right.
you know, compared to what's going on recently. I mean, in the past 10 years.
You know, as you know, when we're younger, we don't realize what's going on out in the world so much as far as politics and you know, the just everything that's going on in the world. You're more worried about cartoons and playing with your buddies and riding bikes, and to see this generation of children that, you know, what they have access to as far as social media and the questions that they're asking are it's almost sad that they are having to ask those questions and deal with the world the way it is now, because we didn't have to. But again, we didn't have access to social media. But had we had that access, I don't believe that there would be half the issues going on in the 80s that are going on now. And that's scary.
True.
That's very scary.
Yeah. We also had Reagan.
We did. We had Ronnie.
Yeah. He wasn't a saint, that's for sure. But
Ronnie and Nancy. I think Nancy was a saint, but I'm not so sure about
I
Ronald.
think he's the only thing that kept him from being psycho.
True.
Yeah.
I need a cigarette.
Cool. I think we can see how that one went.
I hope that got.
Oh, they got a lot, dude.